12 days of Christmas crafting. Join me every night for the next 12 days at midnight for a new Christmas video. So let's go ahead and get started. So today's inspiration is going to be Cut and Embossed by Chloe, and this is the poinsettia corners folder. So this is about 6 by 6, and what happens is you would run this through. You can choose to run it through a card base. It's a 6 by 6 card base. What you would have to do is make sure that your back of your card is released. So when you cut it, this is the direction it will go, and then it will cut into your top of your card base. I find it easier to just go ahead and take a card topper or layer and just run it through, and that way you can just glue it to your card base. So when you do that, the magic appears, and what happens is you get a beautiful poinsettia, one large one and 3 small ones that you uplift the wings, and it gives it the 3D effect. You then have additional decorations and layers here to layer up your cards. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to show you another way how I did the card. So for this one, I cut this out in red foil paper, and what I'm going to do is I am going to layer poinsettias on top of it, as well as we are going to make some leaves. So what you would do for you to start off with your leaves, what I've done, because there are, other than the little hollies in here, whatever paper you choose to cut this out, which I did was red, so we're going to have some red leaves here, and I don't want that. So what I've come up with is to cut out, for this one I use the larger poinsettia, and then this one is the poinsettia here. I use the smaller one, and what you're going to do is just break away the leaves, and we are going to glue these on top of each of the leaf. So not the actual poinsettia, but just the leaf. And we are going to do that so that we can have green leaves. If you prefer the red leaves, that's up to you. And it's easy to just break the little leaves away from your paper. You'll be left with this little chunk here, and that should pop right off. So then you would just do that. And this is the smaller one, and you would just cut that out 3 times in green and place those on each of your poinsettias. Then for the larger one, it'll come out like this. You would do the same thing. Just pull it apart and lay it there. So now that I have glued down these to each of my poinsettias, we will begin. I've already started to lift up the poinsettia. Now just be careful. I'm using my little tweezers, but you can just push your little finger there, but I have large fingers, so I'm just using my tweezers. So what you do is you just push up your stems, and yeah, that's it. And it gives it that 3D effect. And then what we're going to do is we are going to layer these with more of the poinsettia accents that came with this set. So if we go back to the set, so we have here, we have this one is the larger one, and this one is a smaller one. Now this one is not as large as this, so what you can do, and this is totally optional, is I took a small sheet of the paper that I was using, the red poinsettia, I stuck it under here, ran it through, and then now what I'm going to do is I am going to just cut around it so that I can have another larger layer. So just, you know, just cut off these pieces. Just cut around your poinsettia, okay? So just be careful. So as you can see, I'm just cutting out around it. And do clean it up when you cut it. So like these little pieces, I'll do that. And this is optional. Or you could just use the next largest size of the poinsettia, which I will also do. However, I wanted one more layer of the big one. So then you just go in and just cut around, okay? And just clean it up. So totally optional. And then what we're going to do is we are going to layer this on top of the big one, and we are going to use, you can use foam adhesive, you can use your, I have some Collal 3D glue gel from Crafter's Companion. If you don't know what that is, this is what it is. You can only get it, as far as I know, you can only get it from Crafter's Companion. So I have that, and then what we're going to do is offset it and we're going to layer it. For this one though, I'm actually going to use a foam square, and I'll probably use the 3D gel for the other layers. So I'm just putting a foam square on the back of here, and then we are going to place that. And we're going to offset it like that and place it down. And then just lift up those petals. Okay? And then we will take the next largest size, which is this one here. So I'm going to take one of those and lay that on top of there. But for that one, because the middle is so small, the foam tape will show. So you can use regular glue. I'm going to use some of that foam right here. Not foam, the collage glue, because it'll dry clear, okay? So I'm just going to place that on the back and just sit that, offset that, and sit it down. Prop up my wings, and then I'm going to put a little more on top of there because I'm going to place my stamen. So you have a stamen here, so I'm going to use that. And I cut that out in gold glitter paper. So I'm just going to lay that on top of there. And there we go. Our pretty little poinsettia for that one is complete. And then you would just do the same for these ones. So what I did is the next smallest one, because this one's going to be too big. So the next smallest one, I cut out one layer, and I'm going to use the 3D gel for that as well. And that's for dimension. You can use regular glue, but I want dimension, so I'm using the 3D gel glue. That's why it's called 3D gel, because it's for dimension. So then you'll just, you know, lift up your little petals and offset it and place it. Very pretty. And you can add as many layers as you like. I'm only doing one, and I'm going to place a little more here so that I can lay my stamen. There's a lot coming out there. Okay, and then the other two. So our card is coming along very beautifully. So what I want to do next is we have some, if you look here, there are some little hollies there. So there are also some holly dies in this kit right here. So there's a larger one and a smaller one. So I cut out two larger ones for this one, and two smaller ones. And what I'm going to do now is I've cut those out in green glitter paper, just like my stems. So what you can do, you don't have to, but I'm just, you know, decorating. So I have some small gems here. You can add some of those on for little berries. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use glitter. So I'm just going to make some little berries, 3 little dots there. And I'm just going to be using some glitter, red glitter, to make my little berries. So that's totally optional. You can totally use the little gems, but I wanted to use glitter for that. So I am going to do that to all 3 of these. And I'm just using a little coffee filter to catch my glitter. So I'm going to do that. And we are going to place those over top of the ones on the card. And I think this gives it a nice little touch. So we're going to do that. And this glue dries really quick. I get a lot of questions about my glue. It's kind of pricey, but it is my favorite glue of all time. And it is the Dries Clear by Art Glitter. But I love it. I use different glues, but this one is my favorite. So I'm willing to pay for it. So then we'll just take these out. And I'm using my tweezers. Tap off the excess, and you have a cute little holly with some berries. So I'm going to take these out, and then we're going to get these glued on. And you just layer them on top of the card. So like here is the smaller one. So I'm just going to put down some glue, and I'm just going to lay that on. Okay. right over top of the other one. It's super easy, right? And then I'm going to take the larger one, put down some glue, and do the same thing. Just layer that right on top of the other one. I'm just pressing on it to make sure it sticks. And then you have two right here that you want to go ahead and lay the other two on that we put down as well. So, oops, let me clean off that glitter. And we are almost done, and I want to show you some other cards that I made. So I'm just going to put some here. And this is the smaller one, so I'm just going to lay that one down. Just give it a good little press, because this is foil paper. You know, sometimes we have to use a little extra glue for foil paper or glitter paper. So let's put some down there. And then finally lay this one. Okay, how pretty. So this is coming along very beautifully. So in the middle, you can lay your, let me put a little more glue. This dries clear, so don't be like, oh my God, that's so tacky. It dries clear. It's another reason why I love it. It doesn't have like a yellow tone to it. It will definitely dry clear. Okay. So in the middle, you can place your sentiment. And what I forgot to tell you was at the beginning, before I started decorating, I did cut off 1/8 of an inch on each side of my card. And the reason why I did that is because I want to put a layer to show. Like if I would have just glued this on top, I wouldn't have been able to see the gold, only under the petals. So I like that idea, because under the petals you will be able to see what color cardstock is used. So I just trimmed off a little bit so that you can see the gold lining around it. And then we are going to take this and we are going to place this on top of our 6x6 card. But I want to finish decorating. So for the middle, I have a sentiment here. And this is one of Anna Griffin's sentiment, and I'm just going to place that right there. Perfect colors to match this card. Okay, and this is a sticker, so I do not need any glue or foam adhesive. And you decide what you want your card to look like. Do you want it this way? Would you like it to be this way or this way? The intention, well, the way it comes on the kit is supposed to be like this. So that's the way I'm going to do it, and I'm going to place that there. So let me just take off the backing on here, and I'm going to place that, try to center that. I think I did it right. Almost perfect. All right, there we go, and I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to lay it down. And then now what I have some jewels here, totally optional. I am going to place some jewels. These are already have little stickies on them, but I'm just placing some glue down because, like I said, this is foil paper and sometimes it's slippery, so that extra glue will help. And you can use any gems or pearls or whatever you have to make this your own. You can go further and decorate with ribbon and some other things. So just gonna here, here. And what do you guys think? This is so super easy. If you would like this, you can get this off of Crafter's Companion's website, and this is from last year, so I think HSN still has it. If you're interested in getting it, it is very pretty. And yeah, there we go. So then now what we're going to do is we are going to adhere this to our gold base. So I am going to be using some foam adhesive to do that. So what you want to do is make sure you stay away from putting adhesive on your little flowers, because then you'll glue them to this. You don't want that. These are meant to lift up. So you can put your adhesive all around except your flowers. Okay, so I am going to be using some Mount foam tape. I use this from the Dollar Tree, and I also use the foam squares from Dollar Tree and the pop dots. So yeah, I use a variety of them all. So I'm just going to place here. Sometimes I cut these in half or into smaller pieces, but since this is a larger card, I'm going to keep them the size that they are. Okay, and so you see how I'm staying away from my stems, like all my little flowers. So you don't have to use this much, but don't get scared. Okay, and then I'm going to take off the backing on each one of these. And so this card is super pretty, festive, and I'm going to show you the other two that I made, because this, like I said, these folders are from last year. I think it's last year or the year before. So I just thought I'd do a video for those of you that have it already. You guys know how easy this is. So then you're just line this up. So just line this up, and it's kind of tough for me to see. I hope I'm doing it right. I'm going to take this away for a moment just to make sure I have it lined up. Okay, looks good. And just gently press, because we do have some wet areas here, like the 3D gel. Takes a little bit to dry, and then we have our wet glue on our stones. So how pretty is this? So then now what we'll do is take a 6x6 card base and just add our adhesive or our tape runner. We will glue this on top. If you have a sentiment that you would like to stamp, I would recommend doing that first, and then glue this on top, and we are all finished. So here is our finished card. Super pretty, right? Super easy. And you have those lifted petals. You can see the gold through there. You have your petals lifted. Super pretty, right? So that is that one. And then here are two more that I had made. And these ones, let me explain these ones to you. So these are the same concept with this one. I cut around it as well, but I just left the background white. And then for this one, I didn't put any background at all. I just left it the way it came out of the folder. Okay, so then I did the same thing. I just layered up flowers. On these ones, I believe I layered up 2 extra sets of flowers. And then all I did was use glitter. So I did the same thing with the little hollies here. On this one, I didn't add any berries because I didn't want any red in the card. So yep, I just used glitter and glittered up everything. So I pretty much did the same thing. I just used glitter. Okay, I even glittered the decorations here. So very pretty, right? So that is my card today. So that is the first day of 12 days of Christmas. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope that I will see you again at midnight for day 2 of 12 days of Christmas. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video. Love you guys.